Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dark Rooms. I am Psychic.
I am Ozone.
I am Inky from the channel Inkyink. I'm taking too long to
And I am underscore.
Welcome to the first ever FNaF podcast. And,
Yep, this is the first one.
There aren't too many of these around. I don't think there are any.
Yeah. Alright, let's just get started. What's the first topic? What do you guys want to talk about first?
Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's a good topic.
Yeah.
You know, that's a very good topic. Don't we all do
I think
videos on that?
Yeah, I think we should probably talk about where we all came from, and this is only gonna be like an introductory.
Well, you
Let's
see,
get
I
us
was
introduced.
born in a hospital, and the
I
rest
was
is
born
history.
on my birthday.
So for my birthday,
Wow.
I got my name. For my birthday, I got my name.
Oh, that's a nice
So
present.
who wants to actually kind of state their origins first?
I'll start. I started FNaF the way probably a lot of people did. It was FNaF Game Theory. Their first episode brought me into the series. I was watching it. I never played any of the games because I was too scared of them. But around time of FNaF Help Wanted, I actually got the game, and it was a good game. And I started interacting with the community more, and I met Ozone Inky underscore, and now I'm here.
Sweet.
Epic.
Sweet.
I would say I'm very similar to that. Again, game theory kind of helped out a lot. I was a lot earlier, I think. I was like sister location era, and then I started making theories as YouTube videos, and they got popular, and that's what I've been doing ever since.
I would say I had known, or I had at least heard of FNaF around when, let's say, FNaF 3 or 4 was out, but I didn't get into it until Sister Location 2.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I was late to the party, but at least I still got here and am doing stuff with the franchise now.
Late to the party, you say. Late to the party. Well, I've got a story for you. So, and I've explained this on stream before, I think. I had been aware of the game, and I had a friend who would talk about it, and I didn't understand it, and it scared me, and I remember, we were all very, very scared, because we didn't understand it. It was Purple Man Kill Kid, Kid be Robot, and we didn't like that.
Remember when it was that easy?
It was so easy.
So, for the longest time, it was just sort of that game. I remember I watched some videos on Sister Location when it came out, but I was just, confused and didn't really care all that much. Then, in 2017, just in July 2017, I was like, you know what? Five Nights at Freddy's. What's this all about? So I pulled up the Game Theory playlist, as we all do. And I just binged all of them. And then I was like, okay, this looks interesting. I'm interested in this story, but it's scary. Which one do I get? FNaF World. So I played FNaF World.
That's your first introduction to the franchise, FNaF World.
Well, technically the Game Theory videos were. So I knew things. I knew about the games, but I was like, FNaF World. And then I bought all of the other ones, except Help Wanted, because Help Wanted wasn't out yet. And then in the build-up to FNaF 6, I remember I would do these little news updates. It was back when I was sort of very small on YouTube,
Yeah.
And basically, when FNaF 6 came out, I did a series on it, except it was really awful because I was scared and paranoid, and ended up, because of my fear, my paranoia, and ultimately my sheer laziness, I kind of threw all the animatronics back out into the alley and got the worst ending.
Wow.
So that was an anticlimactic series because I didn't even go back and get the good ending.
You just had the easiest nights ever, and then you got canned.
I think I got Molten Freddy. That was it, and he was enough. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah,
All four of them.
I tried doing a FNaF 6 stream when I hit 100 subs, and if you watch, I just play the mini games, and I get through 2 days. The first one, I don't do anything. I think I might survive. I don't think I survived Molten Freddy. He kills me, and I quit the game because I just didn't like it.
Yeah, see, I respect that, Inky, because that is a hard game. FNaF
It
6
is.
just...
It really
I
is.
still don't really get the concepts of it.
It's very difficult.
It's
But anyways,
I've got to
after FNaF 6 and the build up to Ultimate Custom Night, sometime in there, early 2018, I was watching YouTube, and all of a sudden, in my recommended, I see this random kid-looking dude reacting to a game theory video, and I was like, okay, might as well watch this. And then it's boom, he's British. Wow, that's cool. Let's look at his channel. And then I joined his Discord.
I hate knowing that the only reason you subscribed because I was British.
You were British.
No, hey, I never said that.
We hold the fact that you're British too hard to you. That's your defining characteristic.
You do.
That's so bad. That's
I'm the odd one out in this group.
We need
character trait, British.
We need to come up with a new character trait for Ozone.
Lemons? Music?
Lemons?
Lemons.
Music.
Or good FNaF theorist.
Yeah, that works too.
Nah.
Almost a 10K.
Yeah.
I mean, Underscore's the FNaF AR guy, Inky's the game theory guy.
Wow.
We're all just
And I'm the
known for
British
things.
guy.
Yeah, we're just Psychic needs some like reproachable reputability.
Right now, at the moment, I'm
characteristic.
the Mind Zone guy.
Yeah.
True.
Let's see. I remember what's the most nostalgic FNaF related thing that you guys remember? I think that's a good question. What's the most what's FNaF nostalgia to you?
That's a good
That
question.
really is a good question.
I can start if you want. I have something.
Yeah,
in
go
mind.
ahead.
I remember one of the first ways I got into FNaF, besides just hearing about it, was back then there were some really good, and this is going to sound stupid, but there were some really good FNaF Minecraft role plays. If you guys know Caveman Films, Ant Venom, or Aphmau, those were the three.
I've heard of them, yeah.
Really?
They're so
They
good.
did FNaF
They're
stuff.
so good. They did FNaF stuff. There was a short Aphmau Minecraft roleplay, and then the Caveman Films and Ant Venom one was huge. They had like their own storyline going. It was so cool.
I'll go next. For me, it was FNaF music, actually.
That's
custom
also good.
songs,
Too.
like
Oh, that-
Try Hard Ninja, JT Music, Nate Wants to Battle,
Living
Like-
Tombstone.
Living
Yeah.
Tombs. Oh, I just, like,
Ha
those are like all the songs. Like I
Classics.
love FNaF music,
Yeah.
and it's not something like I'll be like someone like, what kind of music do you like? I'm not gonna be like, oh, I like FNaF music. It's just like, imagine that. But
Yeah.
I don't have to imagine that, Psychic. I've been put in that situation.
oh my gosh, yeah. One time I was like listening to I think it was Nate Wants to Battle. I was in choir class. It was like last year, and the substitute teacher's like, "Hey, Psychic." Obviously, they didn't say Psychic, but
Nah, everybody just knows you by
yeah,
Psychic
everyone,
in real life.
Yeah.
It's
just his name.
It's my real name. It's like, "Hey, Psychic, what are you listening to?" Like they're just trying to make conversation. I'm like,
It's complicated.
music. They're like,
Music?
It's like just normal music. It was so awkward.
Regular person
I could have made
music.
up any lie. I could have made up any lie, but I didn't.
But you chose just music.
just music.
You just
Wow.
sound like a jerk. Like he just wants to shut down the conversation.
Yeah,
I'm listening to music, idiot.
And it was like a
My
student
gosh.
teacher that I like never saw again.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
their only impression of you.
So what
That's
about
my only impression of you.
so what about you, Inky? What you got any FNaF nostalgia?
Yeah.
Well, if Psychic hadn't brought it up, I'd probably say the songs, but the songs were a big part of it. Obviously, the old game theories, and of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's World.
Yeah. I think the songs are pretty
There's a
nostalgic to
siren going on.
just about everybody. And they're rightfully so though.
Well, for me, I actually wasn't really into like the FNaF roleplay. I didn't really listen to many FNaF songs or anything. I know it's kind of disgraceful.
So what you're
But-
saying is that you're a fake fan.
I'm uncultured,
Oh.
yes.
Uncultured.
Wait, what are you?
but
guys-
yeah.
Oh, you go first, Ozone.
But yeah, sorry. The one thing that does really get me is I keep going back and watching, obviously MatPat's old game theory videos, and they are so nostalgic. It's crazy.
Mm.
In particular, that one stream where Scott had Scott like gave them clues on the
Oh, yeah.
website.
He put
That was
out
such a good
the-
stream.
That
He
was
put out the
amazing.
3 FNaF 4 teasers.
Yes.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
help them with the lore, which was
It
crazy.
was that was such a good stream, and I keep
If
going back
only
to
he'd
it
do
and being
that
like
now.
nostalgia. Yeah,
Were you there-
that would be so
I wish
good.
I wish he did more stuff like that. Like,
All we need to do
Um,
is convince. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna comment on MatPat's video and convince him to make a big theory stream.
No.
That'll work.
You know what we have to do? We have to do one of these live And if we get
Yes.
big enough, Scott will give us a couple teasers.
Yes.
And that would be the coolest thing ever. That'd be so cool.
We'll bring in like Dawko and Johnny
Yeah.
Blocks and
We'll
8-Bit
bring in all the
Johnny
big
Blocks.
ones. We'll bring in all the big guys.
I think the reason
Then Scott
MatPat
has to
doesn't
show
do
up.
much of that. I think the reason MatPat doesn't do much of that anymore is because he'll probably get loads of hate from it because the
True.
FNaF community and stuff is massive now.
And
Yeah.
And the timeline,
little
it's
toxic.
just too much for him.
It's just too much.
It really
Yeah.
is a lot.
It is a lot.
Anyway, sorry, Psychic. What are you gonna say?
What do you guys think about my FNAF animations, like the Minecraft FNAF animations?
Ooh. I think I've seen one or two, but I watched a lot more of the SFM animations than Minecraft ones.
I haven't. Oh, well, when they go along with the song, like, what's his name?
Enchanted
Mob?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good
Oh,
stuff.
those ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
those
seen
are really good.
I thought of that because I thought of like that's like another like major thing around the FNAF because like he is a really good animator. Also, when I think it was who said the roleplay? Who said the roleplay? Was that underscore?
That was
Yeah.
me.
That reminded me of it because they also started a series where they make like FNAF stories and they animate it in like a cartoony style. And that also
What was so cool about those old roleplays to me is that they really utilized the cinematic modes and stuff, and it was more like
Yes.
a movie than a roleplay. Even though
Yeah.
they still played and moved around,
Yeah.
they really utilized that cinematic quality.
Mhm. All right. What do you guys want to move on to next? We can
No.
talk about.
We could talk about Gumdrop Angel or
Yeah, I was gonna say
FNAF
talk about something new. Something new.
We could briefly touch on the weird water boys in FNAF.
Not the water boy.
What?
Do you not
water
know the
boys.
water boy Ozone?
Ozone, you know the water
You
boys.
know the Water Boys.
You've posted about the water boys.
Ozone, the
What?
Endo.
We're talking FNAF
The
AR.
Endo Ozone.
What Endo?
FNAF
The,
AR.
the anglerfish one.
I hate it so much. I despise it.
What?
Ozone.
Ozone.
Okay.
Five Nights
okay.
at Freddy's. Special
Five?
delivery. Fish. That is all.
Oh, special I thought we were talking about Gumdrop Angel.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I was like, where are the water boys? Okay, water boys. Yeah, the water boys are exciting, but they look like a piece of poo.
Oh yeah.
I agree with the latter and not much with the former.
I'm joking. They're alright. They're alright.
Do we want to do a flashback to when Inky ranted about skins?
I could rant
my
about the
God.
skins again. They
No.
just keep proving my point.
If I was still as weird as I was back then, I would try to BS an answer about why that thing is canon. And I hate that so much. I just can't anymore.
Hey,
You see,
it's just-
Fazbear Entertainment opened a water park / aquarium, and
Underscore, you should do those just for the jokes.
I
Do
mean, it'd
the
be
dude I could
See who
literally
believes you.
I could do an April Fool's video.
about how
That-
every skin is canon.
I already
Literally
explained
everything since the last one.
I already know what Ozone's next April Fool's video is.
Mm.
Do you?
Yeah. It's the best theory
What?
in the world, baby!
Oh, the bite of 85.
No!
No.
Puppet Duo, let's go!
Puppet duo. Yeah.
Puppet Duo.
No, that's
for
not-
Only
those-
the
not.
logical.
For those of you who don't know, Puppet Duo is a joke theory that I made up in like a live call, and I've just stuck with
Okay,
the joke that it's
stop
canon.
promoting your stupid theory.
But it's so canon! It's so
He's promoting
canon!
his
Shameless
cult.
promotion.
It's
Jeez.
He's
canon.
promoting his cult. Don't join the ranks of Puppet Duo. It
Anyway,
takes
yeah,
more
should
out of you than
we
you
should we
think.
talk a little bit about FNAF AR? Because I think I don't know if you guys enjoy where it's going with like all these like jigsaw puzzles and all these skins and stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think?
See, for the jigsaw puzzle, I think I forget who said it. It might have been Johnny who brought up the fact that the reason that the puzzle worked when AR was being like revealed is each puzzle piece was important. But if you look at some of the puzzle pieces now, it's just the corner that says new, and that's it. It's like, what's even the point? So I feel like the puzzle pieces, it's an attempt to be like, oh, look at this, remember this? But in reality, it's just not really good.
I get that. I understand that. I think it's a good way to not just be like, oh, another boring skin. Like it's a little bit of a lead up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think they
as-
could have executed it better.
Besides the puzzle pieces, which they're kind of cool, isn't the game just kind of there and it just exists, but it's not as big as it was or could have been.
Yeah.
Isn't it
Yeah.
like I've heard it's getting worse? Like they had an update where like you can't win unless you're a certain level or something.
They still haven't fixed many of the major bugs and gameplay
I
issues.
see.
Actually, one thing with FNAF AR that I was always disappointed in. You remember the first trailer that we got for it with like Freddy chasing you around the house? I thought it was gonna be like a game where you would actually like scan your house or something, and then the animatronics would like walk around your house and you have to avoid them. Like that would have been such a cool game, but instead we got
That would have been cool, but
But it would've
like
been
hard to
difficult.
Really
put into
hard to pull
yeah,
practice.
off,
it would have been difficult. Like don't get me wrong, but it's like now. But right now we just have spinny game.
Yeah. Also, if I live in a shack, then I would like have no place to go.
If you're living in a shack, I don't think FNAF AR is going to be your biggest concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be playing Scrabble with my fellow people.
With your shack buddies.
Your
My
shack
shack
buddies.
buddies.
Are we your shack buddies? Are we in the shack right now? The dark room's shack.
Yeah, you can be, you can be.
That's canon. The dark rooms are in the shack.
It's just
Dark room shack.
it's just a rickety shack out in the woods where we talk
It's
about
like
FNAF.
Shrek, Shrek,
Jeez.
What do
The
you-
Shrek shack.
the Shrek shack.
That's the spin-off dark rooms. Spin-off podcast.
Get out of my swamp.
Okay. So what else? What else has there been recently? We've had AR. We
Drop
have
Angel.
the Endo. We also have Fiznom having said that most of the animations for FNAF Plus are done.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
You didn't see that? He says like most of the animations for the game are done, and then he's actually going to open up a poll soon for us to pick what the next teaser for that game is.
Ooh,
Hmm.
Interesting.
see that.
intriguing.
Yeah.
What is your guys' favorite FNAF fan game?
Can we go top 3?
Yeah, let's go top 3.
Again, I'm so uncultured. I haven't done this much.
You haven't
really.
dug into the fan games much?
No, I really like the idea of FNAF Plus, like you just said.
Yeah.
It seems like a very cool concept. I know Candies is quite a big one, but apart from that, not really much.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
Fan game, and it's just one that like I always like love watching people play. It's a Joy Creation story mode.
That's a good
Oh.
one.
That's a good one.
It's so good.
Sorry to butt in again, but I really like what is it? Nightmare Circus? No, Circus.
Babies
Nightmare
Nightmare
Circus. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a
that
good
one.
one too.
That was such a good one.
I just like that one because it created the Balloon Man song, and I remixed that.
Not
to
the
death.
Balloon
Yes.
Man
The
song.
Balloon Man song. Let's go.
Daco did some really good videos on that game, though. In all honesty,
Yeah, a top 3 for me is actually pretty easy, except I just forgot one of them. Anyways, basically, Flumpties is good. I like Flumpties, but excluding the other one that I just had and then forgot, easily the top. I'm a Five Nights at Candy's guy,
You're Five Nights at Candy's guy?
especially the third one. I haven't played it, but it's just such a like you can look at it initially as a FNAF 4 ripoff, but like it's actually much more varied in its gameplay and actually has a really good story and a good reveal that sort of ties up the whole franchise's story. Unlike FNAF, where they just want to keep things vague all the time, which is understandable, but it was very satisfying to have a big payoff with Candy's 3 that explained pretty much everything.
Right. Yeah.
I guess while we're here, do you guys want to talk about the Fazbear Initiative?
can I mention just a couple fan games
yeah,
first?
I'm sorry. I'm
Just-
sorry. I jumped ahead.
No, but-
I'm so sorry.
No. The Fanverse
Underscore is
initiative is pretty cool.
obsolete now.
But I pride myself on how much I love a couple fan games. A couple vague ones too. So I really love Pop Goes. I love.
Oh yeah,
the
I've
Pop
heard a
Goes
lot about that.
Yeah, it's got such a deep backstory and stuff. But two other ones. Final Nights 4. Did you guys know that one?
I've
I
heard of it.
I remember the
I haven't
title.
seen much of it, but I've heard of it.
I think
Is
that
that
if
the
any.
one- Is that the one with the spring bunny that comes into the room and you have to like stare
Yeah.
at it or something? Yeah,
That-
I've seen that one.
If any creator should get into the fanverse, it should be Jelly Liam, who has worked on some crazy
agree.
fan games like
I
that.
agree.
And then, do you guys remember the Fredbear archives?
No.
Again, the
Oh,
name
that-
rings a
that's-
bell.
You got
Yeah, it rings a bell.
you got hunted around a warehouse by the Rockstar animatronics.
Oh, Yeah, I remember seeing an 8-Bit Ryan video on that a while back, but other than
I'm
that,
gonna
I
be
didn't.
honest, the only fan game I know about is Joy Creation Story Mode.
Uncultured swine.
Listen, I am one of the most uncultured person you will ever meet. Like, you will be like, have you seen this
Jeez.
popular TV show? I'll be like, never seen it.
At least you've listened to the FNaF songs.
Real.
I'm not into that.
I
I'm
actually
highly-
remember. I remembered the third fan game. You can. Did you finish underscore or?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah.
Okay, I actually remembered the third fan game I thought of, and it's actually like a really obscure, underrated one. It was called Super FNaF, and it was like
Yeah.
That's a really good
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
it's
really
all
good one.
pixely, and I did
It
I did a
has-
video series on it, and it was one of my it's one of the few old Inkyink series that I actually don't hate. Like, I think it was actually a pretty decent series,
That
and I enjoyed
that
the game.
has a really good like 8-bit soundtrack with a lot of the
does.
FNAF songs turned 8-bit. I love it so much.
It does.
That's something I really like about some of the FNAF like fan game community as well, is that they actually make like games that aren't just straight up horror. They've actually
Yeah.
like turned FNAF into
An
cool-
RPG.
like a little bit like like an RPG or something like that. I quite like that.
Yeah.
So what about the fanverse? What do we haven't got much news on it besides
I don't
that.
think
We
there's really
haven't.
much to say.
The Fiznom thing was the only really recent thing. We haven't heard about Flumpties, Candies, Pop-Goes. Isn't there another
Ignited
one?
Collection.
Oh, yeah, the
T-Jock
Ignited
was
Collection. T-Jock. We have the
I mean,
funniest acronyms.
It is.
Is
I
it
think
an acronym?
I think it'd be good to say. I think it'd be good to say that Scott's amazing for doing this.
Oh yeah,
Of course,
Scott
yeah.
is one of like the most like he's so good at being a
So
game
supportive.
developer. Yeah, he does it well. Unlike one company that starts with an N that we can all point to and say they're stupid.
We've never
There's a
seen
loud car outside.
We've never seen
Pen?
such. You know what? Never mind. We've never seen such a project like this performed by one singular developer.
Yeah.
To kind of really, he's really good at including the fan base, giving
Right.
teasers to these theorists, including these fan game developers. He's and artists too. He's done a really good job at being inclusive with.
I mean, usually companies would like try and shut the fan games down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. The only other developer that I can think of, like, even comparing on the level of fan interaction with Scott, I forget his name, which makes me feel kind of bad since I'm bringing him up. But he's the guy who made Toho, which is a Japanese indie game, and because he was so like loose on pretty much like fan games are pretty much counted as official. So there's over
Wow.
like 30 games in the series, just because like so many people.
So
And I think he made a lot of them as well, and like all these like remixes of stuff. Yeah,
back in the day, or you first, Psychic?
Yeah.
You say something.
I have to go for like a quick second. I'll be right back. Just want to let you guys know.
Jeez, okay.
all right.
Back in the day, I remember, and this isn't kind of what's gone on yet, or it's not what's happening, but I remember thinking to myself, what if Scott were to just kind of like canonize a couple of the fan games? How cool would that be? And that's not what we have now, but it's kind of what he's done, just a bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's inducted the fan games into the franchise.
And honestly,
Kind of, yeah.
I know I'm basically just the Five Nights at Candy's stand here, but it really just kind of would work completely fine being canon. It doesn't really like it interacts a little bit with the FNAF stuff because it mentions like FNAF 2 location closing, but
Yeah.
aside from that, it's really its own story that could just be in the same universe.
Yeah, and that's what's cool about some of these fan games. But then you think about other ones like Pop-Goes, where William Afton is like the brother of one of the main characters, and he
Spoilers.
dies in different ways. Oh, whatever.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Didn't really
It's
matter.
fine.
But some of that one has a lot of conflicting stuff, and it only
Right.
works with FNAF 3 or before. So he'd have to be really cautious about doing that if he were
Okay,
to.
Yeah,
but guys,
I mean-
hear me out. Sorry,
Ooh.
sorry, I was on really quick. Just hear me out. Canon Flumpties.
Jeez. No. April Fool's joke, that would be good, but okay, what's up, Ozone?
Flumpty is just a Freddy skin in FNAF AL.
No.
Underscore
no,
make that canon.
as much as I like the idea of like Scott making these games canon, like that's a really cool concept. I personally wouldn't like that as a FNAF theorist.
Fair.
I
It
would
complicate
hate that.
things.
It would really complicate things, and even now, like people still have doubts about like the Silver Eyes, Twisted Ones, Fourth Closet, and stuff.
How
If
are
that's canon and stuff.
People are still
Yeah.
confused about FNAF 4.
I think it would. Yeah, it would just confuse things a lot more, and I wouldn't enjoy that. But it's a cool concept.
It is a cool
Definitely.
concept. So, what else is there really? I feel like we've got a lot of FNAF content to work with right now, but we've kind of been dry on news a bit for some stuff. Like,
have you guys
what about
read...
Security Breach?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, have you guys read the preview for Puppet Carver?
I haven't. I didn't
I
know
have not either.
I haven't.
I didn't know it was out.
It was just like a quick 5-minute preview. If you don't want me to talk about it, we can move on.
I mean, what do you guys think?
You can talk about it.
Yeah.
So
I would say if anybody doesn't want to hear this, like spoilers, obviously.
Right, you could
Yeah,
just skip
fine.
ahead a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not too
it's nothing
revealing
too big.
to the story.
It's nothing
Yeah.
too
Okay.
big.
Then I'm
Okay.
fine with it.
Basically, it starts with the main guy. I think his name's Jack. I want to say.
Okay, Jack.
And he is the owner of a Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria or a pizzeria.
Ooh.
But the
Ooh.
interesting thing is he has animatronics that are breaking down, and they're the mediocre melodies.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So
That
Like
is-
like they're like do they say they're the mediocre melodies, or are they like, we've got a frog, a hippo, an elephant?
implied.
well, it's implied because there's I've had 2 broke down, and now this piggy animatronic is broken down. So
Interesting.
Oh.
and one of the technicians is like, I am making a machine that'll make little wooden animatronics that'll make a bunch at a time. And the guy's like, "Oh, I'll believe it when I see it." And it's just a short bit. That's what you get. So it's very interesting.
Interesting.
I'm really interested to see where the Puppet Carver goes.
and that's the story, the Puppet Carver.
I think I see an idea on that already.
Yeah, I'm also getting a vibe, and obviously, it seems really hypocritical for me now because I'm always the guy who's like, "Hey, parallel's bad," but already I'm seeing we've got an
Right.
owner of a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza with the mediocre melodies. Mike moment.
Mike moment.
Can we
Like,
talk
no,
about?
I had a different idea.
You go first, underscore.
What?
Uh,
Oh, you want to?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So Inky, you're thinking Mike with
I am thinking
the,
Mike.
the owner of the mediocre melodies. I was thinking more. This is our main character is Henry, and you've got William over here with his weird advanced technology, and he's gonna do something. That's not good,
That actually could work better. Yeah.
right?
Um,
There's a lot of possibilities, and knowing that we don't have the story yet, there's a lot to kind of hypothesize about.
because, and I'm pretty sure there's something mentioned about how the animatronics are old, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm coming up with something new," so that could factor into your thing, underscore. Can we talk about
Okay.
how the Fazbear Frights stories have been getting really good lately?
Oh my God.
Gumdrop Angel.
They got
I was
bad,
just
and then they
about
got
to mention
great.
this.
Yes.
I loved the
I-
most recent Stitch Wraith.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm not gonna wait. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I just really want to say, you guys, I'm sure will also agree. Gumdrop Angel was so good. It's
best
one
book
of the
series.
best books.
Best
I
book.
One of the
haven't
best books,
read it
yeah.
yet. I haven't freaking read it yet.
You
What's wrong
have
with
to.
me?
It's really good.
It's okay. I'm the critical guy. I'm the one who
Yeah.
ranks them very strictly.
You're
Gumdrop
very
Angel
opinionated.
is the best one in the
It
series.
is?
Mhm.
As a
I'll-
book, not necessarily the story. The stories are good.
But they're
None of them are
consistent.
the top. Yeah, they're consistently good throughout.
I'd have
like-
to agree.
Yeah, each story has something to offer, and it's the first book, in my opinion, that has 3 consistent bangers.
Mhm.
Oh, I read I read what we found from that and the Stitch Wraith, but I haven't read the story Gumdrop Angel or the other one.
Right.
But I mean, what we found, it was really good actually.
It was.
Indeed.
I
Yeah.
and this book gave me what I want, which is more FNAF-y stories.
Yes.
The cliffs, all 3, okay, he told me everything. We can debate on that I know Inky hates it.
There is no debate, Psychic. There is no debate. It's an F tier story.
Exactly. But
I haven't read that one yet, and it still
so-
sounds horrible.
But it's like
It is awful.
in the cliffs, the only FNAF things we have is a Freddy toy. I guess
That's it.
a robotic thing, and I guess robots in
Breaking Wheel.
Breaking Wheel, yes, but they aren't.
Yeah.
FNAF.
And then there's a suicide cliff.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
say
like-
Faz-Goo, but that's barely FNAF.
You know, there's a problem with your Five Nights at Freddy's story when the best you can do to make it FNAF is an unrelated Five Nights at Freddy, just a Freddy doll. That's all. That's it. That was all the clips had. Like robots, like yeah, it's a robot. So
Yeah.
Star Wars has robots. You know.
True.
Yeah,
Is the Cliffs a Star Wars book? I don't think so, but
Yeah, I suppose I could see the complaint for some of the stories being really disconnected.
Mhm.
But it's really cool to have a story where you're looking from the perspective of the guard at FNAF 3. Like, how
course,
much
yeah,
cooler can
yeah.
that get?
Because in Gumdrop Angel, we have a story that takes place mainly at Freddy's.
Oh?
And Sergio
that's what got
Leone-
me sold right away. I was like, oh, it's at Freddy's.
We have
Finally.
Balloon Boy,
Ooh.
Yeah.
and what we found, we have a guard at Fazbear's Fright, and it's
Literal
actually
spring
named
trap.
Fazbear's Fright.
They literally
And-
load Springtrap into the building
Yes,
when
yeah.
he's there. It's so
Those
cool.
are all FNAF stories. It's such a good book.
He
Now,
fully finds the body inside.
he really does. Since we're on topic of books, what is your favorite Fazbear Fright story?
Ooh. There's
Okay,
three
I'll go
stories I haven't
first.
read, but I think I've got a good idea.
I'll go first. Okay, because I was going to talk about this anyway. But you guys were saying about like non-FNAF stories and stuff, where there isn't much FNAF themes and stuff. But then there's like stuff like The Real Jake, which is
Fair.
incredible. Like for me, that's my favorite story because it's so emotional and amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't much FNAF in it. In fact, there's no FNAF in it.
The thing about that is that it ties back to obviously the Stitch Wraith, so that
Yeah.
it gave me
Yeah.
that gets a pass from me at least because
Same.
it wasn't FNAF, but it was relevant to the story it was
However,
telling.
However, I read The Real Jake before I read any of the Stitch Ray stories, and I still like absolutely adored it.
Oh.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
I read it very differently.
It's
Hmm.
it's still a really great story, whether you look at it from Stitch Wraith or just story. It's actually super unique because it's not horror, which is what you think when you think of Fazbear's Frights.
Yeah. It's
Right.
a lot more emotional
Mhm.
to some of the other stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
it's also just a change, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
weird
then-
shift that you don't expect to be reading in a horror book.
Yeah.
And then you get like the opposite of that, which was He Told Me Everything, which was a bad story.
That's your favorite story?
No, it's not.
One more thing about The Real Jake. I like how like at first you're like a little on edge because of Simon the doll. And it's like, oh, there's a mysterious thing in the closet, and it's just a complete misdirect. It's a complete shift from the rest of the series. It's a really good story.
And it goes, ooh, wholesome instead, and scary. And then sad.
So what's your what if you hate He Told Me Everything so much, Inky, then what is your favorite story?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know what it is.
What do you mean you don't know?
All right, so well, he's seen my tier list videos.
Oh.
I've also seen it,
Which-
but I forgot.
You
I
should
forgot to.
all watch it. I'm promoting my own channel in this podcast now, and there's nothing you
Plug.
can do about it. My favorite is actually a top two. Obviously the tier list doesn't really reflect that because you can't like put two at the same exact place.
Yeah.
But basically, so there's like two aspects of it. There's both of them are very relevant to FNAF. One of them is more cinematic and mysterious. The other one is more emotional, obviously. So putting those two together, like at the top spot, really just embodies the Fazbear Frights stories for me. And obviously, you've probably guessed it by now, but those two are The Man in Room 1280 and Coming Home.
Both good stories.
Yeah, though. Yeah, I see what you mean by how they're more cinematic, and they could probably be. Yeah, those are pretty good ones.
I actually
Yeah.
just listened to The Man in Room 1280 today, like a couple
Oh,
hours
nice.
Really?
Nice.
I told you I was listening to
I-
Ozone's books.
Yeah. Go and listen to my books. No, wait,
Podcast
I said
there.
that wrong. My audiobooks, not my books. Anyway, yeah, I can really agree with the Man in Room 1280. I honestly think that's a banging story.
It's
And it's
Um,
really relevant to FNaF, even if it's only a couple of characters. It's still
yeah.
pretty relevant.
Unfortunately, I wasn't really feeling it with Coming Home. I don't know what it is about it. I just don't really enjoy it.
I see why people would like it, but same with Ozone. I didn't feel it exactly either.
I felt it. I'm with Inky on this one.
Okay, well, what is it about the story that you enjoyed?
I don't know. It's just like this. Okay, so like it like sets up and you're like you don't really understand what's going on, like because like at first you think, oh, first of all, spoilers for Coming Home. If you don't,
But we've already gone through so many spoilers.
Yeah.
I will put spoiler warnings everywhere.
Yes, I might not. I don't know. But anyway, so it's like there's this girl and she's like Susie. She's like trying to interact with her family, and it's like it's vague enough that like you think like okay maybe they're just like quiet and ignoring her, or maybe she's dead, and you don't know until you finally get this realization when the mom's talking to her friends like, and her friends like your daughter was killed by a serial killer, and it's just like, and then like at the end like the older or the younger sister is like trying to find this doll for her dead sister, and then she finds it, gets to reunite, and then they leave. It's just I just love it.
Okay, so for me, like that, you've explained it pretty well, but for me it was too vague. And a lot of the time I didn't really understand what was going on, and I just wanted answers that I weren't really getting. I wasn't really getting.
So Ozone, about that, I'm thinking. So this is a theory, a book theory,
Book theory.
and I'm thinking that because of the mindset, because of your mindset when you're making the audiobooks, like you're reading them. Like you're reading them out loud, reading the words on the page for.
No,
a video.
I also agree. I agree.
I think that can take away from like the comprehension aspect of it. Like sometimes it can be easy to just sort of read the words, like you're kind of picking up what's going on, but like you might not be getting all of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird to like sort of put words in your mouth or anything. But I think a lot of, as far as Coming Home, a lot of like one thing that a lot of people seem to forget is that we kind of actually got like an MCI flashback, which is kind of really cool.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of a first, and of all characters, Susie, the one we kind of saw in Fruity Maze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Ozone, if you want, I would recommend maybe going back and re-listening to your audiobook or just rereading it on your own for fun, like knowing what's going on and just trying to see it from a different light. Maybe
I am definitely doing that. Yeah.
You might enjoy it more, or hey, you could still not like it, and if you don't, you tried. So yeah. Underscore, what is your favorite Fazbear Frights story?
I don't know why, but I really enjoyed Out of Stock
I knew
for
it
some
was
reason.
coming.
Really? Have I said that
Interesting.
I
I
don't
believe
believe
you have. I think you might have mentioned it the last time we tried a podcast.
before? I haven't made a tier list or anything, and I don't think that would be really hard, but I just really liked Out of Stock for some reason. It was kind of unique, and it was, I think, if it was the second book, it threw some really new ideas out there. Like, something we'd never really kind of seen is a plush trap with human kind of features. And that was, it was weird at the time, and I think it really got my interest into what else the series might bring us. And we've been brought a lot more than just meets the eye.
Okay.
If I could talk about Out of Stock for a moment, sorry, Psychic. For some reason, it kind of didn't land with me. I guess it's sort of not like exactly for the same reasons as Ozone with Coming Home, but sort of that same dynamic, I guess. Like it just didn't really do it for me. I've never really been the biggest fan of Plushtrap as a character. I think he's all right.
Neither do I. He's a little tyke.
Yeah.
He looks like my brother.
Personally, it's weird because Out of Stock has all the ingredients of being like a really good story, but it didn't really vibe with me. I think when you brought up the whole human features with the Plushtrap thing, I almost forgot about that because it doesn't really do anything with it. Like it sets up, hey, this Plushtrap's got human eyes and human teeth, and it can chew through things a lot, but we never find out where those teeth came from, where those eyes came from. and it just feels like a little shock value factor that's thrown in there, and you get an
Fetus
action
trap.
scene. Yeah, you get an action scene with the plush trap.
Yeah, there's some action in there.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of action actually.
And it's weird because I acknowledge that, but for some reason it is probably my like. It's like probably like third or fourth from the bottom for me, actually.
Oh no, I think I liked it also because it had some sort of vibe that I liked, and then how it came back and really connected to the Stitch Wraith before we knew what the Stitch Wraith was.
That's
I liked
fair.
that too.
Yeah.
The thing got run over by a train. I mean, that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
didn't the main character basically play chicken with a train?
Pretty much. And then it ran over Plush Trap.
Alright.
Yeah.
You guys want to know
Inky,
my
I-
favorite?
Yes, I would.
Okay, so first of all, before I explain why...
You told
okay.
me everything.
so
Inky just
before
starts screaming.
Before I actually,
We just go to
got
war.
into reading the Fazbear Fright stories, I actually just watched Dako's explanation videos, and that's what actually got me into the Fazbear Fright series.
Mm.
So the first book I read on my own was 1:35 a.m., and that nostalgia factor, like for me, makes Room for One More my favorite story in the Fazbear Fright series.
Oh.
Okay,
For one
I
more
thought you were gonna say 1:35 a.m. for a minute,
No.
and I was like, oh no, get him out.
No, Room for One More for me is like one of my favorite. Yeah, I will
Yes.
say there are some other ones that might be better than it, but like I feel like because it's like the first one I read on my own, I think it's my favorite.
Good choice, good choice.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
Room for
I
One
want to
More
ask.
really
Sorry.
freak. That one was pretty cool. It's
It
so
physically made me sick reading.
it physically
Yeah,
hurts.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
My
It was
throat
a,
hurt.
it was
when
a
reading it. My
scary
throat hurt.
story.
I can't like it as much because it physically hurts to read it.
Speaking of physical hurt, I just want to get your opinions.
Oh my goodness. That went from 0 to
I'm not-
100 real quick.
Sorry.
Our opinions are
Speaking
so
of
sharp that
feeling
they'll stab
sick.
you, apparently.
Okay, speaking of feeling sick, I want to get your opinions on In the Flesh.
In the
Because
flesh.
that to me
Oh.
was a really weird, but for me, like I actually really enjoyed it.
I also enjoyed it. I thought I feel like it's one of those things where it's like everyone's like I hate it. It's weird. I kind
You
of
like
liked
it or you
I
hate it?
liked it. Like
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
it
was
one of the
okay.
reasons it's like it was really unique. Whether good or bad unique, we could debate about that. But like
it-
it's not like I feel like like there's a lot of stories that are like 1:35 a.m. Dance with Me, Blackbird. Like I feel like there's a lot that you can like group in. Like these are this kind of story or something like Lonely Freddy,
Yeah,
right.
To Be Beautiful. I can't think of the third one, but I know there's a third one.
Sergio
He
was
Told Me
kind of in that
Everything.
same.
Where
So
it's like
it-
body swap. Like there's like and like those like okay yeah we've seen this before. Scary, move on. In the Flesh was very different.
It was different.
Yeah.
My story with In the Flesh was I had heard about it before I read it, so I sort
Oh,
of
that's bad.
Yeah, no.
I went in going I have to hate this because everyone else hates this. Then I read it and for a while after I still put it kind of low because I was like if I put this thing higher I'm going to get like killed by the
But-
community.
but
But
do you
eventually I
like
just sort of let it go and went it's a good story. It's not my favorite, obviously. It's not I don't think it's in A tier or S tier or anything.
It's in my S tier.
I mean, you made a short film out of it, so I think we could probably guess
Oh
that.
my god, yeah.
Oh, I remember
but-
that.
Can I
Really,
say
the ending is weird. The ending is uncomfortable, but the rest of the story really carries it, in my opinion. Just having such an
Yeah.
awful protagonist just was so entertaining.
What's the psychic?
Okay, so I remember it was like 2 days after the book had come out, and I was like still thinking about it because like after like you like build up to this book and you're really excited, and then you just think about it when you finish it. And I was on a bike ride, and I was thinking, and I remembered the back of the book, and I was like, oh, Matt pours his hatred into a VR game and births the consequences. And I was like, oh my gosh!
It just kind of clicked while you were on your bike ride.
Yeah, I was like, births the consequences. I was just like,
Jeez.
Like, oh no.
I was just like, wow.
That is
I'll
amazing. I
I'll
love
say
it.
for In the Flesh, it was still pretty relevant. Like we have a game developer, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too weird to where it was deserving. He told me everything kinds of hate. it was still relevant enough to not get as hated as that one.
Right. And I don't think it's relevancy that people have a problem with.
It's also one of the stories that kind of leaves me intrigued a little bit to how it fits in.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that gonna actually like come back sometime? Is there just like a
Well,
baby Springtrap
I
running around?
personally, I mean, mini book theory.
Mini theory time.
Could it be to do with out of stock? Because it has human
Ooh.
human
Oh.
thingies, and that could be its origin.
different idea. I have a different idea for what the out of stock one is.
Okay.
Do you want to hear that?
This is just a theory podcast now.
This is when Andrew and the Mana Room 1280 disperse at the Fazbear Distribution Center, they infect a lot of items, but one of those is probably a singular plush trap chaser, which kind of becomes pretty weird because they infected it and now it has human features.
I can also agree with that.
I would understand that, but the thing about it, I think it's more set up to be like, hey, this is like a weird, crappy bootleg toy that was made with a dead guy. So I would probably agree with you in the fact that it's probably like influenced by Andrew and the whole possession thing there. But as far as like the actual body parts being like from like Afton, I guess, is that
Kind of, yeah.
I'm not sure about that because wouldn't it be weird like just that they like sort of grow on there? Or, like it wouldn't like just fly
That
off
would
of
be kinda
Afton
weird.
and just fly onto a plush strap and stick or
It's
something.
Faz-Goo.
I have a really weird I've had a really weird idea that just kind of sprouted right now. But and I want to say it now just in case it comes true and then I'd be like, bragging rights. Bragging rights. But
Covering your bases.
what if Andrew, who we presume to be killed by William, what if that's Andrew's body that William used on that plush trap?
That would be morbid and I love it.
I would love it too, and we'll get Andrew's story soon, so
Yeah,
maybe
Fazbear Frights 10, which comes out in September, I think.
September. Jeez, far away.
Yeah.
I like how the rest of us are like, oh, that's so far away. Ozone's just partying.
He's just giggling to himself.
I can't wait. It's so
can't-
great.
I can't wait either.
The funny
okay,
cat man.
Last thing before we move on from books, because there's one. Okay, so one story that
How are we on time, by the way?
We're at 47
45 minutes.
I actually thought we were a while longer. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay.
For one story that I really, really enjoyed, but other people seem to dislike. What are your opinions on hide and seek?
Ooh.
Ah.
For me, it's a very forgettable story. I always
For me-
forget that exists.
It exists, but it's just not memorable enough.
I have similar
Sucking
thoughts about
confused.
that. I have similar thoughts to them about that in that it wasn't all that memorable to me. Other than I remember while reading it, I was like, this is a really creative and cool way to use shadow bond.
Yeah. Yeah.
But beyond that, I didn't like how abrupt the ending was because it was like he was just about to free himself and then he was like, no, actually die.
And
So
It
that was a bit.
it was a pretty
strange.
weird turn of events.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a slow-paced story that, like, it kind of slips through the cracks, you know. And I'm gonna turn off the heater that always turns on at the worst times.
But yeah, I've like other people like you guys like seem to forget about it. For some reason, I just like it a lot. Like it's just one of those that like I just I don't know.
And we all have that story that we like and nobody else likes,
Yeah.
and we don't know why.
Well, I'll be honest. I like pretty much every single story.
Everything?
I'm not a very like critical negative person. Like I like even.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like
Inky is
me.
the creative. Yeah, him.
he's the critical one. Like
They're all very well made.
I liked
I would
Theory,
agree.
and he told me everything. Sorry.
I actually, I agree with. I find value, at least some value, in every Fazbear Frights story.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
Except he told me everything. So I agree with you, Psychic. I believe they all have something to enjoy
Right,
in
okay,
them.
Inky, I have to attack you here. Sorry.
Ooh. Ooh.
Why? No, I get that he told me everything is a bad story. Okay, I
Yes.
get that it's down there and there's like not all that much in it. But why is it so far? Like, why is it 6 feet deep?
So what's my reasoning? You're asking.
Yeah.
All right. let's begin.
Let's go.
No, not a full rant. No, just
Oh, you
we have
asked
like
for it.
You
we have like 10
awakened
minutes
him.
left.
Yeah, I'll make it quick. All right, it's short. There's not a lot there.
you better.
It's a third story. Third stories are not really short. I mean, it's not like I'm not trying to compare it completely to all the other third stories, but it's very short and it doesn't get a lot done. All right, that's one. Two, scumbag protagonist. Not in the same way as Matt in the flesh. That guy was like a mess in his own ego. This guy is just a scumbag. He wants to ditch his friends to get in with the cool crowd. He's not content with his family, and he's basically just a horrible person. Yes, he deserves what he gets, but it's not even satisfying. All right, three. Let's see. Oh boy, Faz-Goo. Faz-Goo. Gotta love Faz-Goo, just like I love my Faz-Kazoo and my Faz-Slinky. They're absolutely Fazbear Entertainment products, and clearly, if I pick up this pencil and add the letters F, A, and Z to the beginning of it, it is now a FNaF story. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that easy. You can turn anything into a Faz story for only $19.99 with the letters F, A, and Z, everybody. Welcome to He Told Me Everything, and it was just weird, and the blob thing peed on the ground, and that was just it's bad. It's bad.
It's a shambles.
It's a shamble. It's a mess, and I don't.
Bravo!
Talking about a Faz-Kazoo and a Faz-Zoo and stuff like that.
Use your
I
pencil,
actually
your
understand
Faz
you.
notebook to make a Fazbear story.
I still think it's written okay though.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet. Should I read it?
I mean, okay.
No.
when I say it's poorly written, I don't mean like there's a bunch of grammar mistakes and that it's like not worthy of being in a book. Obviously, it's literature. It's okay. Well, no, that's giving it a bit too much credit. It's a story. It's a story. It's words on a page, but I don't think it's good word on
I just think you don't. I think it's a bit like Shakespeare. You don't really understand it all that much, but you're like, it's kind of bad.
Shakespeare, Ozone.
Maybe it's like Ozone with Coming Home. Maybe you just need to reread it. Give it another chance.
I don't want to reread. He told me everything, man. I don't want to go back.
I have a question about the story.
Okay.
How important are memories in the story?
Not at all.
Not at all?
There's nothing.
I don't remember.
Nothing about memories.
He basically, Mans tells the blob man of himself, goes, hey, treat him well. Treat the family well because I didn't do it. I wish I did more with my pathetic life. And basically Blob Boy goes, okay, and he goes out and he goes, he told me everything, and there's a lot of blob children now. What are they going to do with that? Who knows? Is evil scientist guy trying to make an army? I don't know. That doesn't really relate to anything in FNaF. You could say it's Glitch Trap, but Glitch Trap army thing is kind of an older theory because we thought more people had played the game, but really it's just sort of Vanessa.
Because Vanessa's a beta tester, and it wasn't released to the public.
And never got like fully released. So really, it's just Glitch Trap and Vanessa.
Vanessa, I barely know her. Sorry.
So the whole like Glitch
that didn't make any sense.
The Glitch Trap army thing doesn't really work, even in the context of the story. This science teacher now has an army of blob children. Can he control them? Who knows? Is he doing it for the heck of it? Who knows? It's not satisfying, and there's not much about memories there either.
Okay, I was just wondering for a theory that may have that may be. But
does it have something to do with what we found?
It has something to do with the most recent Stitch Raid video.
Interesting.
I will say that one thing I do agree with Inky is motivations were unclear. Like for me in a story, if motivations aren't clear, it could be better.
If things happen for the sake of happening, I want an explanation.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome to He Told Me Everything, everybody.
Welcome to Coming Home, everyone.
Those things have a reason for happening.
Welcome to the Dark Rooms podcast.
Welcome to the Dark Rooms podcast.
We're at 52 minutes, just about.
Yeah, I reckon we should start clearing up.
Yeah.
Anything else we haven't discussed?
I've got everything out. I've got it all out of my system.
You've ranted enough today.
Hey, Inky, what do you think?
We're going on a one rant per episode basis.
Inky, what do you think about FNaF AR skins?
No.
Next Next time on the Dark Rooms podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I think we should briefly talk about the future of Fazbear Frights.
Okay.
Like,
Future.
Yeah,
what do we
how many
want?
left again?
What do we want?
I
More
want
Gumdrop Nation.
more. I want more.
More relevant stories with lore that I can actually
Yeah.
use.
I
Yeah.
want more stories. Period. Like, we're getting near the end. I'm pretty like some people like they said like 12's it. I'm sad.
Psychic, we're 2/3 in. There's still a third. Still
No
a
way.
third of the story
There's
left.
still a third?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Wow.
What do you wait?
We're
well,
we're 8 out of 12 books in.
Okay.
What do you guys think about the 12th book being only available with the entire package?
He's going to
I'll
take
find
my
a
money
way.
and I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm still going to buy it.
Same.
I'll find a way. I'm sure people will donate it to the library so I can read it. Little
Yeah, no,
scoundrels.
Inky, I got you, mate. I got you because
He's gonna-
I'll do audiobooks on it.
If all else fails, I will go to Ozone.
I'm so dedicated that I'm going to want to buy the thing just to own that story. I
Seriously,
need
yeah,
that
me
book.
too. I mean,
Honestly,
Yeah.
By the time it comes out, I might actually have the money, so I might.
I'm
I
a
might buy it,
dedicated
honestly.
collector. Like I bought a physical copy of a game I already had for $100.
Look at the plushies behind me. I'm a dedicated collector.
I have one physical copy and it's Blackbird.
Wow.
My whole physical copy.
Joke's on you. I've got 0.
I have all 8.
Oh, I've got to pick up the limited edition version of
Puppet Carver?
what's it called?
Yeah.
Puppet Carver, yeah, with the different cover.
I quite like the
Wait,
different
there's a
cover.
different cover.
There's going to be an
Yeah.
exclusive cover for.
Or have we
it.
not seen it yet, though?
No, we
Yeah.
have.
It-
It's some weird foil
it's
thing. It's
so-
not very different.
So it's
Oh,
it's the
it's
cover.
not like different
but there's
art or
like,
anything?
But it's like there's like a tear in it, and the tear has like inverted colors on it.
It's just a different look. It's not that
Okay.
special, and
It's
I
not like
wouldn't blame
it's not
anybody
like
for not
alternate
doing it.
artwork or anything.
No.
No.
Okay.
Honestly,
It's just a different look.
if given the chance, I wouldn't buy the special edition because I like all my things to be organized and like
Consistent.
consistent.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I'll be looking for the special one.
Mhm.
I'll try to find it. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's all for this episode.
Yeah, I think that's good.
It's
That's
been
good.
exciting, hasn't it?
Yes. Thank you everybody for joining us on the Dark Rooms podcast.
I can feel the
Mhm.
light. I can feel the light turning on. We gotta
No.
hurry up. The dark
How
room
can
is
we-
fading.
There's no
everybody's-
light in here.
Everybody's channel links will be in the description below, and we'll see you next week for the next Dark Rooms podcast. Bye.
If people like it enough, that
Yeah,
is.
Yeah,
And
like
if
it.
like the video, share it with your friends. If they like podcasts and are weird enough to like FNaF podcasts, then they're the right audience.
there's
for
not
this.
really a FNAF podcast around, though. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing. And you'd think that would be
Yeah.
something people wanted more.
Mm-hmm.
And tell us what you want us to talk about as
Yeah,
well.
we could get some topic ideas going. You know.
We just threw out stuff that was relevant to now. We could do theories, reviewing old stuff, anything.
I'd
We
love
talk
to do
about
some
he
theory
told me
episodes.
everything. We can
I'd
give
love to.
we can give an in-depth breakdown of why he told me everything is bad again.
We could
Oh
do
my
we could do an MCI 85 debate.
We could
Ooh.
talk more about Fazbear Frights, which I love.
Okay?
We could do it all and more for the low price of your viewership.
Your soul, sell it right now. Give it to us.
Underscore will do a face reveal.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Interesting. You got to make it big though, so it doesn't like you can't just
Anyway,
face
let's
after
conclude
this.
this mess.
Yes, we're done here. Everybody,
Yeah.
step out of the dark room.
Thank you for
the cabin.
watching
Thank you for watching.
or listening.
Thanks.
Thank
thanks
you
for
for
listening,
listening.
watching, tolerating my ramblings.
Tolerating us.
You're welcome.
All of the above. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.